And welcome to Nancy's Neighborhood. And it's so great to have y'all here with us today. I do think summer's here now, finally, after all these cool days and this rain and everything. But I am absolutely thrilled to have Kevin Brooks on with me today. He is our will be soon, mayor of Cleveland, Tennessee. And I am so excited. I'm so proud of you, Kevin.
Thanks, Aunt Nancy. I'm thrilled to be here. We're just having a conversation.
We were having a conversation before we went on the air, and y'all didn't need to hear most of that conversation. But I met Kevin when he was a student at Lee University.
A teenager.
A teenager, yes.
And
probably.
you haven't aged a bit.
Oh, you're a sweetheart. You are a sweetheart. Can you tell he's a politician? But he was about 19 years old, exactly. And Dr. Kahn would send him over to get artwork at Case and Art.
That's right.
For different places at the school. And then he and Darlia would come over and do some things.
And when I was hired full-time as Director of Alumni, you provided for me and the alumni office a beautiful Monet's portrait of red poppies.
Yes.
And I hung that proudly as the crowning achievement of Case and Art and Frame, and I think that is actually still in the alumni office.
It could be. It was. I used to call that painting Monet on a Van Gogh day.
Yeah, it was Monet on a Van Gogh day.
It was beautiful. The colors were great, and it's just one of his that wasn't quite like the rest.
I enjoyed it immensely, Nancy. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Kevin, and I enjoyed working with you, and I've enjoyed working with you on everything that we've done so far. And I will say this. I liked you being my state representative because... I mean, just because I liked you being up there, but you were such a proponent of education.
Thank you.
And you got the Pie Center started for us. You got all those lines opened up.
Thank you.
And now you've left us.
Well, good news. I'm closer to home.
I know.
So just imagine
I know.
If I can bring all of that connectivity and those friendships and those relationships to Church Street.
Wow.
You won't have to call 153 miles away. I'm 4 blocks away.
And that is true.
And those friendships and relationships, I've been on the phone all week since Thursday's election. I'm so honored and grateful to have been given this chance by the city of Cleveland. And my friends are responding so positively. How can we help? I won't name the names, but Nancy, you know and have heard of all of them. And they're so keenly interested on keeping the connectivity with Cleveland going and really taking it to the next level. And what a wonderful opportunity. Absolutely.
And here again, I'm so proud of you. I don't live in the city, but I do own property in the city.
I know exactly where you live.
Yes, you do.
You're a smart lady.
So I got to vote.
Thank you.
I got to vote for you, and let me just spread it out there. Ken Webb and Bill Winters and Charlie Cogdell.
Wonderful.
So I got to cast my votes because I do pay taxes in the city.
That's right, and that was a wonderful education. You mentioned education. It was a wonderful educational opportunity for me to talk about that during the campaign, that if you are a city taxpayer and you do pay city taxes, that does entitle you to a city vote. And I'm very grateful. There were many dozens of you, of Nancy Kasons, who claimed their right. You have to fill out the form,
right,
and you have to mail it back in. And I had some people that knew it very well, and I had some people that it was an aha moment. And I said, absolutely, please call my friends at the Election Commission and make sure that you claim your right. And it was wonderful. I said before we went on the air, Nancy, I'm still processing all the positive comments that Kim and I are receiving, and our kids. This is a family affair. We're a family unit.
Absolutely.
You elected a family.
I know, and we're proud of that.
Well, thank you. And my son and daughter, they're also receiving such positive comments all across town. Walgreens, the gas station, Cook's, Cracker Barrel, everywhere we go.
Better than Nashville, isn't it?
Well, it's wonderful. You know, a lot of people said, why did you do this? And I said, I want to help my hometown. And when your hometown responds, and when your hometown embraces your dream and your vision, I can cast all the visions I want and dream all the dreams I want. But the voters had to vote.
Absolutely.
And they did, and it's such a blessing. And Nancy, just even today, I was downtown getting a cup of coffee, and iced coffee. It's a little warm outside.
Yes.
And some folks walked in who had not been in Cleveland for 30 years.
Oh, wow.
She said, "You don't remember me? I went to Lee with you in 1988." And we reintroduced ourselves, and she said, "We are downtown proponents, and we heard what you said, and we can't wait." And I thanked them and said, "I can't wait either."
I think that's awesome. I really do. Now, I'm going to ask you the question that everybody asked you when you first jumped in here.
Yes.
Why?
My hometown. You know, Nancy, you mentioned knowing me when I was 19. I was so blessed to come to Lee College back then.
Right.
And even more blessed when Paul and Darlia offered me a job in the president's office.
Mm-hmm.
And I fell in love with our downtown. In fact, Dr. Kahn encouraged everyone at Lee in an administrative staff role to become involved somewhere. We had members. Dale Goff was Rotary, and then Sunrise Rotary, and Larry Carpenter was Kiwanis, and someone else was Lions Club. And there was one, I think because I was a history major, and Dr. Bill Snell was such a large influence in my life, I noticed that there was no one from Lee interested or involved at Main Street. Now, Main Street was very young in those days.
Oh, yes, we were. Mm-hmm.
And I was so grateful when I said, "Dr. Kahn, I think I'd like to join Main Street." They paid all my dues, took care of it, and before I knew it, I was serving on the board.
Yes, you were.
And really fell in love with my hometown. At that time, my adopted hometown.
Right.
And 31 years later, I am just as in love with Cleveland. And someone asked me at lunch today, Nancy, why? And I said, everything is really good in Cleveland. Good city, thanks to you, Nancy, good schools, good infrastructure, good jobs. Our unemployment's at an all-time low. But we really could, in Jim Collins' book, we could go from good to great. And we're on the cusp of that. There's never been a better time to be in Cleveland. Can you imagine the wonderful opportunity to be the mayor of Cleveland? I'm excited about it every day.
I think it's awesome. Now, when do we swear you in?
Affirm. We can affirm.
Okay.
My mom told me I can't swear.
You can't swear. Okay,
No,
I got you. We're going to affirm.
The inauguration day is September the 10th, is what the city charter says. And so we will gather at 3 p.m. on September the 10th, and the official transition will take place. Now, Tom has already passed the mayor's baseball cap that he was given.
Okay.
And by
37 years ago?
28.
28 years ago.
27 years. We were beginning his 28th.
Okay.
And what an honor to have had that Thursday night. It was a very moving moment for me.
It was. I did not come downtown, but I did watch you live on Facebook, and it was, I could tell you were very emotional about it, which I don't blame you. I would have been, I was pretty emotional 2 years ago when I got elected to school board.
I was there that night.
Yeah, and you just, you just appreciate the hard work that everybty does.
You really do.
Because you had Brooks signs everywhere.
We've been gathering them all weekend.
I bet you have. And that's the thing, you hate to leave a sign up, and I saw that Ken Webb had put something on Facebook. If anybody sees one of my signs that I've missed, please let me know. So I'm sure you feel the same way.
I feel the very same way, and that brings up a really good point, Nancy, about the team that it takes to put this together.
Yes.
All those signs, I could name hundreds of names. Mark Touchstone and Lewis Jones and Adam Lewis and Noah Kripe and all the people that were I called them the Signs and Wonders Committee, because something would go wrong or a banner would be loose. And Gabe West, for instance, the signs and banners downtown at the 5 Point Pharmacy. And these guys and gals would show up and fix it or install it. And it really does take a village to run a campaign.
It does.
And our entire family was invested. Our friends were invested. And then, of course, as you saw towards the end, just regular Cleveland families began endorsing us.
I loved that.
Buying ads in the paper.
I thought it was great.
And, they would text you or Facebook message you and say, "Is it okay?" And I would say, "Oh, it's such a blessing. Are you kidding?" So when your friends and neighbors, like Nancy's neighborhood, when your friends and neighbors on their own start embracing and endorsing, you can't ask for better more positive. So thanks, Nancy. This is my very first interview after the election
I think
on television.
I think that's awesome. I really do.
So
Now,
it gives me a chance to say thank you.
Well, I heard Kevin this morning on 104.1. He was on Facebook, and it was a very good interview there. And I thought, dang, don't tell him everything, Kev, because you're going to be on my show, and I want you to say something. But it was good, and I know we're limited, always limited on time on radio and on TV. But the funny thing about the signs, and I guess you found this out. Well, you probably already knew this because you had run before on the state level. But there's that thing called the post hole digger that you have to put the big signs up with.
That's right. Ours was nicknamed the Pink Lady.
Okay.
It's mauve or pink or something. I don't know where that thing came from, but it's a post hole driver.
Right, it's a driver.
And it weighs 10 or 15 pounds. It's weighted, and you develop some interesting forearm muscles. Again, I'm so grateful for the huge amount of help. There were lots and lots of signs. I'm so thankful for Andrea Boddicker and the T-shirt company, Brooks Screen Prints. No relation to me, Brooks. But we had given out over 1,000 to 1,100 shirts.
Wow.
We had just as many signs, and it just is truly an amazing summer, and worked out well for us on Thursday.
Now, why did we have Brooks Blue?
Great question. Nancy, you asked the greatest questions. I love it.
Your eyes are blue, so is that why?
That's not exactly it.
Okay.
There were three options when we very first started running way back 12, 13 years ago. And the three options were burgundy, sort of the lead colors, black and red, which my father loves Georgia Bulldogs, and so he was at Atlanta Falcons for Steve Hartline. And then there was this, what at that time was Carolina Blue.
Yeah.
And absolutely no one had ever done a sign in this area in that color. And Zachary, our oldest, is a huge UNC Tar Heel fan. So around the dinner table, it immediately became the favorite. And then we came up with the Brooks Blue sort of nickname, and it stuck. And in fact, when we decided to make the transition from the state level to the local level, there was a conversation: do you switch the color? Do we want to just make a total break? And it was a resounding 1,000% no, that the brand of Brooks Blue had become so popular and synonymous with our goal of serving that we kept it, even though it was a different race for a different office. And it proved to be, again, the only color of its kind.
Yes.
And we hope that it stays that way. And people are saying, we've got your sign, what do we do? And I say, bring it to us. We want to save them for 4 years from now. We're going to run them again.
There you go. Absolutely. That's what somebody said to me one day about my signs. I said, well, they're up in the garage on the hill, and hopefully, good Lord willing, the creek don't rise in 4 years. Or now it's 2 years. I'll put them back out again.
That's right.
So, and you have your blue and white checkered on today,
That's
and
exactly
I
right.
love it. I
Thank
love
you.
it. So I think I think the whole town is excited. I told Mayor Tom, I was very sincere about this. I moved to Cleveland in 1980 when Flavis and I married.
Sure.
And he's the only mayor I've known.
That's right. Only mayor I've ever known.
But see, now I know you. And so I'm okay with this switch.
Thank you.
I think it's going to be great. And Alex is telling me that I need to go to commercial. Can you believe I need to go to commercial? But we're going to come right back. I asked Kevin to stay on with me all day today, or through the whole show. So don't go away, folks. We're going to take this commercial break, watch the commercials, support our sponsors because they pay our bills, and we'll be right back, and we'll talk to Kevin a little bit more.